Okay. Dear students, after the task number 4, we finished with the first module of our course. The first module of our course was connected with the fact how the company can grow. How the company can grow. And if the company wishes to choose the diversification strategy, how to choose the best way for the diversification. And the next question connected with the corporate strategy. I told it during the first lecture. The second very important question is connected with dividing of the resources of the company, or in other words, the next question is connected with investment priorities. So if a diversified company is one company, even if it is a holding of some companies, it is some common budget. Even if it is a holding, I would say that in the holding, the companies within the holding are more how to say independent, but anyway, as far as it is one company, one big company or one big set of companies, it has one set of shareholders and it must be one budget. And the second module of our course is connected with the possible instruments of selecting investment priorities of the company. And today we are speaking about the most simple instrument. This instrument was created more than 50 years ago, actually 52 years ago, but this instrument is very simple. It is very easy to use, and actually all the further instruments of selecting investment priorities are built at these very instrument. And actually, if you understand these very instrument, it will be very easy for you to understand everything else. So today we are speaking about the Boston matrix, how to divide investment resources within a diversified company. This matrix was created in 1970 by Boston Consulting Group, and actually if you read literature, especially in English, you can find a lot of names of these instruments. It can be B-box, BCG analysis, portfolio diagram, Boston box, BCG matrix, Boston Consulting Group analysis. Actually, in Ukrainian, it's almost the same, but the main title of this instrument is BCG matrix. Українською мовою то буде матриця БКГ. But also you can find some other titles in Ukrainian. It is everything about the same instrument of strategic management. And you can see these funny pictures. You can see these very funny pictures, especially the second one. Then somebody sees that in some cafes they provided some dishes in this funny way on the shelf. Uh, so, why I decided to put these funny pictures here, and this is for ironing. It is old device for ironing. You had to put coal here, and then you can you will have possibility for ironing. Okay. Actually, this instrument is initially provided, I mean, BCG matrix is initially, was initially provided for creating the investment strategy for a diversified company. So, if we have a diversified company, we can use this instrument. Sometimes, and it is more frequent in Ukraine, I see some articles where the instrument was used not for this purpose but for other purposes. For evaluating the level of competitiveness of the company, for comparing different companies, etc. Actually, don't ask me why, whether it is possible or no. I don't know. Actually, within my course, I'd like to present you the classical way of usage of these very instruments. So maybe it is possible to provide some food on the shelf, yes, but we are speaking only about the classical usage of the shelf. So if you want to dig, you have to take this instrument, and that's all. Actually, within our course and within the corporate strategy, I'm stressing one more time that we are using the metrics for evaluating investment priorities of the diversified company. And we are comparing different strategical business units of one company at this very matrix. Only different strategical business units of one company. So at this matrix, you can see the two axes, two dimensions. The first is relative market share, and the second is market growth rate. And I think at least half of listeners of the today's lecture are familiar with the metrics, but I'd like to stress the second very important option, the point why the Boston Consulting Group decided to choose this dimension, relative market share, and why they put here 1. It is the key factor of these very instruments. And okay, we'll speak a little bit later, but just the general vision of these metrics. This matrix is divided into 4 boxes, 4 zones. So we have relative market share before 1 and after 1. What does it mean before 1? It means that the leader of the market is bigger than our company, and after 1, that it means that we are the biggest company at some market. And the market growth rate means that we are comparing the current state of the market, and we are comparing it with the previous state of the market last year. Actually, in different sources, you can find different numbers here. It could be from 6 to 10. There are different ideas about what must be taken here. And there are a lot of explanations, but my recommendation is to take 10. But if you wish to take less than 10 but more than 5%, you are welcome. If you strongly believe that it is better and you can explain why it is better, okay, it's not a problem. And within the matrix, we are selecting the four typical strategies. Strategies for dogs, strategies for question marks, strategy for stars, and strategy for cash cows. And I'm stressing one more time that all the strategies are provided for different strategical business units of one diversified company. So let's begin with two dimensions. The first is here. Relative market share. But what is the more important that usually people think that if the strategical business unit is here, so we are the biggest company in the market, and for example our sales is twice bigger compared with the next company in the market. So for example our volume of sales is 2 millions, and volume of sales of the next company in the market is just 1 million. So it is like twice smaller. And the key idea is that our best competitiveness level is connected not with the fact that our profit is twice bigger. Our profit will be more than twice bigger. It is very important. Our profit will be more than twice bigger. Why it is so? It is because the bigger company has advantages of the economies of scale. Actually, this is the piece of the strategic management course. I told you when we finish with the corporate strategy, I will provide you several lectures, okay, not maybe several, but at least a couple of lectures regarding the strategy of the company. So let's speak about two companies. The first company is selling and producing 1 million goods, and the second is producing 2 million goods. But you know that if you buy some raw materials in bigger quantity, you will have the better price. The bigger you buy, the better price will be for you. But it is only one characteristics. The rule is the same, connected not only with purchasing of some raw materials and details, but also if we are producing something in bigger quantities, we can have these best, okay, not the best, but the better efficiency also connected with manufacturing, with transportation, with marketing, with advertising. So the cost per unit will be smaller. And please look at this picture. Let's look at the top curve. So the cost for the first company is $1 and the cost for the second company is 90 cents. And the price of the product of the second company can be less than cost of the first company. So we can say that the second company is much more competitive compared with the first company. That's why the profit will be more than twice bigger compared with the first company. And what is more important, it's not only the problem of the profit, it is connected with the level of competitiveness. So the second company is more competitive compared with the first company. It is the key characteristics for the strategic management. And actually I took this picture from the book which can be found in our common folder. I uploaded this book. It is this picture was taken from Thompson and Strickland Strategic Management, and in different industries, we have the different way of these curves. So in one industries we have less economy of scales, and in other industries we can see the big economies of scale. Українською мовою давайте я перекладу, це буде економія на масштабах виробництва, доставки, транспортування і так далі. But Thompson and Strickland in this book, they proved that anyway in any industry we have this very graph. So it can be type 1 or it can be type 3. But anyway, when the company is producing more, the company is more competitive compared with the company who produced less. And let's speak about very important outcome from this rule. If the market is growing, and if we have big share at this market, we have to invest money into this strategical business unit, or other companies will produce more than we, and other companies will become more competitive compared with our company. It is the outcome which also was used by the creators of these very metrics. I'm stressing one more time that when we are creating these metrics, we are using not the absolute but relative market share. So if our market share 20% from the market and the nearest competitor, so if you are the leader of the company, of the company, sorry, it was my mistake, the leader of the market, so the ratio for in this very case will be 2. How to calculate the relative market share? You have to divide sales of your business units this year, and you have to divide it to the leading volume of sale to the volume of sales of the leader of the market. And not to forget to say tell you, one lady in the morning say, okay, I can find the data about this. I stressed that It will be your tasks to analyze the markets for every strategical business unit. So your company, you have to choose a company at the markets which can be described by you. But I'd like to provide only one tip, that you have to look for not the data about your company. You can find the data about the market. It is easier, much easier. And in the reports, usually it is the description about all the main companies at the market. And actually, when I checked the titles of the companies, about I would say 80% of the companies are like very open companies, so it is easy to find the information about them, and the less than other 20% is presented by unknown for me. I'm stressing unknown for me companies. All the companies are from the IT domain, but I strongly believe that if a student decided to take this company, it means that he or she, I mean the student, is working in this company, so it's not a problem for him or for her to find the data about the company and about the markets. And the market growth rate, it is also very easy to take it. To find it, you have just to calculate the present. You have to take the present value of the market, and you have to compare it with the size of the market of the previous year. Actually, it is possible to take figures not only about the last year, the last now is 2021, but also it is possible to compare it, to compare the volumes for 2020 and 2019, because sometimes it's rather difficult to find the fresh review of the market. If you can find the review of the market but it's not fresh, okay, let it be. I think there is nothing special changes within only 1 or 2 years. And having calculated this, actually I created the table. Okay, maybe it is a good idea to stop this presentation and then I will show you the table, which can be found in just a moment. In our table, you can find, in our folder, common folder, you can find the table. So it is just an example with some figures. So here is market size. Then it should be a description of your strategical business unit. then market share of your strategical business unit and market share of the leader of the market. And here E by C means that you have to divide column E to column C, and H to C means that you have to divide column H to column C. And you will have two dimensions. You have relative market share and market growth rate. Actually, if you have problems with defining the market growth rate in the way of calculating, okay, let it be. You can take it with some reviews and etc. You can take it from some reviews. I understand that in some reviews you can find only the general information about one year. Usually it is presented the information about 1 year and about the growth rate, and that's all. For every strategical business unit, you will have to calculate these two dimensions, the relative market share and the market growth rate. And having calculated pair for every strategical business units, I'm coming back to my presentation. You will put the points here, and then you have to draw the circles around every strategical business units. I'm coming back to the table, because and diameter of every strategical business unit must be in proportion to volume of sales in money. It could be hryvnias or it could be dollars. So the biggest circle will be the biggest figure here. Here you will have a lot of strategical business units, but I told you you can take not all the strategical business units if your company is rather small. So if not more than 5, I think you will take 5, and if there are more than 5 strategical business units, then you have to, it is possible for you to take not all the 5, but not all the 10 or 15. You can take 5 or 6 strategical business units, just this, because you if you decided to take the bigger company, it will be a bigger number of markets to be described. Okay. And I forgot to tell you a very funny moment about the BCG metrics. I like mathematics, and that's why it is natural for me to have 0 here. And because, how to say, I knew it from mathematics, from algebra, from high mathematics, that in every graph we have 0 here, and we have 2 dimensions, 2 vectors from here to here and from here to here. But in some articles, in some books, some authors decided to put these x not from here to here, but from here to here. Please don't ask me why. It looks like they are from Arabic countries, because they are in the Arabic world. They are reading, from not from the left to the right, like we are used to reading, but they are reading from the right to the left, but actually the authors are not from Arabic world. It's just the another way of presenting of this very metrics. Please don't ask me why I think about 2/3 of the market of the economists, they are presenting the metrics like I presented here, but about 1/3 of scientists are used to presenting these metrics in different way, but it's the same. It's the same. Just don't think that maybe I decided to explain it because you can find the information. For example, if we reverse this dimension, so the star will be here and question marks will be here, and you can find, oh, Paolo mistaken. Not it wasn't my mistake, it was just another view of the matrix. That's all. So having calculated the coordinates of every strategical business unit, you will put these coordinates to the matrix, and here you will see the whole picture for your diversified companies. And what is very important, I told you that this matrix is built for one diversified company. Yes, it is completely the truth, but you can find at this matrix also information about every competitor for every strategical business unit. How it is possible? Because we are using the relative market share. So you can find the volume of sales of every strategical business units, and with the help of this X you can find the information. Is your company more competitive compared with the best company at the market or less competitive? But okay, if we are the most competitive company on the market, we are leader of the market, so they are the most competitive company. And if we're not, what is the gap between us and the leader of the market? And generally, okay, it is quite obvious that the stars are the strategical business units with it is situated here with at the markets with high levels of growth, and we have the big market share at this very market. Question marks are here. We have the small share of the market, but the market is growing rapidly. Cash cows, or just cows, sorry, we have it here. So the market share is big, but the market growth rate is small. And the last, the dogs, are here. It means that it is a small market share at the market with small growth rate. And the typical strategies are highly interrelated with the stages of life cycle. It is the standard picture of life cycle. First of all, for every market. First of all, we don't have some product. We are introducing this product, then the market is growing rapidly, then there is maturity for the market, and there it is, the decline of the market. Actually, we will speak about the stages of market growth a little bit later. In one lecture, not next time, but in one lecture. But it is very important to understand that almost all the markets has these type of curve, And speaking a little bit forward, is it good to have all strategical business units here in stars? No. The portfolio of the strategical business units, the best way for the company is that if the portfolio is balanced. I told you that if our strategical business unit is here, it means that the market is growing, and the market is growing rapidly. And for example, now our market share is the biggest, but we are producing 2 millions. But the general size of the market is 5 million. But market is growing rapidly. For the last time, it is, I think, the biggest market. The biggest growth rate was connected with smartphones. I think then everybody decided to change button telephones to smartphones. And actually, the problem is, if the next year the size of the market is $8 million, the general size of the market, to have the same share of the market, we have also to increase the production. And what does it mean that we have to increase the production? It means that we have to attract investments. And how to find these additional sources of money which we need? Actually, we can take it from the cash cows, because the market is stable, so we can not to invest a lot of money into the market. So all the profits can be directed from cash cows to stars. But sometimes it is not possible. We do not have enough money, and in this case, it can be possible to sell one strategical business unit situated here in dogs, or even here. Generally, it is the best situation for the company when the portfolio is balanced. So if we have everything here. And a couple of words about every strategy. Generally, life cycle is presented here. So if we have a star, if we are supporting this business, it became the cash cows, and then it will become the dog, because I told you any market will decline sometimes. And if we have question mark, we can finance it, and then we can finance it to stars. If the market is still growing, and if the level of growth is more stable, is becoming more stable, we can become the cash cow, and then then it will be dog anyway, because any market finally will decline. Finally will decline. Maybe it will be in 1 year, maybe it will be in 10 years, maybe it will be in 50 years. But anyway, any market will have the last stage. The stars. The stars means that we have to support this business. And I told you that if you are not supporting this business, so it will become a dog. And it means that we have big market share, but we cannot have the profits from this market, because this strategical business unit is the acceptor of the money, This strategical business unit needs the money support. The question mark, or sometimes you can find another title for this box, is like wildcat or problem child. It means that the market is good, but grows rapidly, but we have a small market share, and it means that theoretically, it is possible for us to invest into this market, but we are supporting this business only having supported all the stars. The cash cows means that from the title, it means that we cannot to invest into the market, but we can harvest this strategical business unit. And we can use the money for supporting stars, or if we have enough money, we will support the question marks. And dogs means that we are small market share at the declining market, but it doesn't mean that we have to divest, we have to sell these strategical business unit. Sometimes company decided to stay at the market, and they had a lot of profits. Just two examples. For example, I think there are a lot of like older people of our age, I would say after 40, and we remember that about 25 or even 20 years it was only cameras with films. And сплівкою мається на увазі. And when the digital, even 10 years ago, then the digital photo came to our life, the producers of films for cameras, they produced it because some professional photographers, they had a lot of very expensive equipment, and they liked to deal with film cameras, and even then it was possible to buy the films. Actually, if speaking about today's the quality of digital cameras is much better compared with films cameras, and actually don't ask me, I don't know whether is it possible to buy films for films camera. I think yes. It is just the example, then the companies decided not to leave not to switch to the new technology, but to support the older technology, just to have some profits from this smaller market. And the second example can be connected with Johnson & Johnson company. They decided to produce liquid soap when other companies decided to leave this market, but they realized that liquid soap will be used in some organizations, in restaurants, in cafes, in water closets of restaurants, of cafes, because it's not it's not pleasant to take the brick of soap which was taken by another person, by hands of another person, and liquid soap is the best solution for this very case. So if the company has strategical business unit here, it means that the company should divest these strategical business unit. It is maybe it sounds a little bit strange for you. It's not my mistake. In Ukrainian it will be роздягати стратегічну зону господарювання. Це такий термін, це так говорять в рамках цієї матриці. Це стандартна лексика стосовно матриці Бостонської торгової групи. Sorry for my explanations in Ukrainian. I just wanted to explain this short moment in Ukrainian. So generally it doesn't mean for sure that the strategical business units must be sold. They must be sold only in the case if there are a lot of stars and question marks, and these stars and question marks must be supported. Regarding the limitations of the Boston Consulting Group matrix, actually the biggest limitation is that the matrix is rather small. It has only the 4 typical strategies, but I think I should say that like the coin has 2 sides, and the same is connected to the matrix. It means that actually the matrix is very simple, and it is very easy to use this very matrix. So actually I do hope that even if you use these metrics for your companies, it can help to look at your companies from the different angles, and it will help you to understand the relationships between different strategical business units. I mean, what strategical business unit is better for company, and if we have to support this strategical business unit, what is the way, what strategical business unit must be sold or divested to support the better strategical business units. And in this, at the final part of the lecture, I decided to present you just some examples. I found it in internet. It is the strategical business, it is the Boston matrix for different companies, and you will have to prepare something like this. And here this matrix is rather old. I wanted to present it just because you see here is the another way of presenting of this matrix, not from 0 to maximum, but vice versa, from maximum to 0, from maximum to 0. Okay, so your task is to fill the table, to analyze the market, first of all, every market for every strategical business unit. Then you have to fill the table. Then you have to draw the metrics. And actually this is 10, but actually if you wish, you can present the short strategy regarding at the basis of this matrix, but it is not obligated. The final task with maximum grade is just to prepare the matrix, and that's all. Okay, I will stop the recording and I will answer to all your questions.